The Knicks have now lost two straight games after a three-game winning streak, and fans might have some concerns about how the Knicks have dropped these games. Time to talk some Knicks hoops with my guy, Jonathan Macri of Knicks Film School. Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'd be doing a little bit better if they were able to, pull that one out against the Heat. Perhaps get some better refereeing in that game. But you got to get that little dig in there. Not ideal last night, but all things considered, can't complain too much.
All right, can't complain too much. Knicks on a two-game losing streak, as I said. And John, when we talk about the Knicks these last couple of games, perimeter defense was a concern early in the season for the Knicks. And in the last two games, they've allowed the Timberwolves and the Heat to shoot 57% from downtown in each game. Should fans be concerned once again about the Knicks defending the three-point line?
I think yes and no. I mean, look, anytime you run a scheme like they do, which prioritizes trying to take away the paint and will occasionally allow, some three-pointers, if a team gets hot, it's just going to be tough, and it really requires your guys out on the floor to execute perfectly. The reason I'm not too worried yet is it's two games. So, you're not usually going to see teams shoot 57% from three in one game, let alone back-to-back games. I like to look at slightly larger sample sizes, so I just looked it up earlier today. Since the Josh Hart trade, or I should say before the Josh Hart trade, they were actually fifth or sixth in the league at giving up in terms of frequency of wide open threes to their opponents. Since the Josh Hart trade, they're actually 12th in the league at that. So they've gotten a lot better at limiting wide open looks that their opponents take. Obviously, they've given up quite a few these last couple games. I think it's just a matter of cleaning up some things, getting on the same page, not being confused with coverages, those sorts of things. I trust they'll be all right.
All right, yeah, it's a small sample size, like you said. We'll see how things go there. Now, for weeks, the Knicks, they've been comfortably clear of the play-in cutoff, but now they are in the fifth spot and only lead Miami by 2 games. Do you feel comfortable right now that the Knicks will hold on to the 5 seed?
I don't know that anybody could be comfortable, especially if you have many years in the bank as a Knicks fan, where oftentimes if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. Look, they're in a good position, and I think you'd rather be in a spot where you're in fifth place, 2 games up on Brooklyn or Miami, than the other way around. That said, and I've said this a few times over the last like 12 hours or so since the Heat game, this team several times this season has been with their backs against the wall where they've needed to come up with a big win. And I think the notion that they could kind of just coast in from here, that's not something I agree with. They are going to need to come up with, I believe, one more big win, because I think the Heat are playing better. They're certainly motivated to try to get one of those playoff spots, whether it's the Miami rematch next week, whether it's the game against Cleveland, or whether it's simply just taking care of business against all of the other teams on their schedule, all of which they'll be favored and they should win, starting with tonight in Orlando. But the notion that they're going to be able to rest easy here, I mean, that went out the window over their last couple games.
Yeah, no resting easy. They're going to have to take care of business down the stretch for sure. Now, New York, they have an opportunity, John, to bounce back on Thursday night in Orlando. Considering the struggles that we've seen from the Knickerbockers the past 2 games, defensively at least, how important is it for them to get a win against Orlando?
I think it's important for a few reasons. For one, you don't want to. I mean, one loss, even 2 losses, it's not a huge deal. I don't think you want to go into a weekend where you have 3 days off with the sour taste of losing 3 in a row, still there. Look, the Magic have been playing a lot better basketball since they started the season. I believe 5-20. They're an over 500 team since then. They have some quality wins. They're good at home. They know what they want to do on both ends. That said, I think it's a good matchup for the Knicks, as we just talked about a moment ago, where the Knicks struggle is giving up 3-point shots. Not saying the Magic can't hit threes, because everybody in the league can hit threes today, but they only have really one guy in Gary Harris who is both really proficient from deep and wants to shoot it from out there. Other than him, you look at guys who maybe their percentages are okay, but they don't want to take a lot of threes, or vice versa. So I think it's a good matchup. Markelle Fultz has been playing great. Kudos to him for resurrecting his career. But again, he's a guy that wants to operate inside the arc. The way the Knicks defense is built, I think this is a matchup that they should be able to take advantage of.
We will see if the Knicks are able to come up with a big win down in Orlando on Thursday, and if they're able to right the ship. Still have some big games coming up down the stretch. Jonathan Macri of Knicks Film School, he will be all over it for sure. John, always good to talk some Knicks hoops with you. Take care. We'll do it again soon.
Always a pleasure, Dex. Be well.